Okay, today we are playing a game on VoD. We will be playing Reinhardt on defense and Winston on attack, and the average SR of this game was 1,784, and our current team composition is Reinhardt, D.Va, Bastion, Symmetra, Torbjorn, and Mercy. So, I have issues with it. For one thing, if they have Pharah, we're pretty fucked. But, here's the thing, right? We're in silver. Who cares, right? Like, who cares? Supposing we made this Bastion change to Soldier or something, can he play Soldier? No, probably not. He probably can't play Bastion, so who cares? Can the other teams actually play Pharah? No, probably not. He's in fucking silver. Who cares? Whatever. We just assume people don't know how to play their heroes and don't worry about the team comp. So we're just gonna start the game right away. So we're defending first. We're playing Reinhardt. We've got the full sweep of static defenders. We know they have a Reaper from the kill feed, and that's all we know so far. Their team's not very kosher, but I mean, you know. So we figured out they have a Mei, and she attempted to do something with the wall. I mean, we don't really know what, but she did indeed attempt to do it. So shield's getting pretty low right now. Do not let your shield break. Even if you're blocking something, don't let your shield break, because then it goes on a 4-second cooldown, and you never want that to happen. You always want to be able to put the shield up, because sometimes putting the shield up is all that matters. Suppose your shield breaks, and then D.Va throws her ult in at that exact moment, and you're like, oh, well, guess I'll die, and then you die, and you're very upset. Even if it's got one hit point, blocks the D.Va ult, so don't let your shield break, because that often leads to sadness. So, few things. So, Winston's just diving right on in right there, which, I mean, okay, yeah, fair enough, he's playing Winston. But we see Reaper doing that, just charge right at that dude. Like, that dude is not allowed to do that. As soon as you see him start teleporting, just charge that fool, because it's not okay. It's not okay. And You need a pretty good reason to charge when you're playing Reinhardt. I'm not joking, and it's not an exaggeration when I say, most people would win a lot more games as Reinhardt if they charged 80% less, and I'm not exaggerating, legitimately. So, the one reason that you usually do charge is to punish somebody for overextending. That dude is overextending. You just, like, pin him into this wall back here, he's fucking dead, and then you can go and start beating up the Winston instead. So, I mean, Reaper, but here's the thing also, Reaper did this, but then he didn't really know what phase 2 of his plan was, so we just come in here and beat him to death anyway, because all he knew was he wanted to get in, he didn't know what he was gonna do when he gets in. So, don't do this, because this is not a legal maneuver, and we're gonna get punished for this. There are certain thresholds where you're playing Reinhardt that you do not cross. That threshold is almost always the choke point. You do not want to cross where the choke point is. The only people who are allowed to cross the choke point are Tracer, Genji, and Sombra. Maybe Doomfist? I don't know. I don't know what that hero does yet. Further testing required. So we saw Pharah right here, and I could see the exact moment you were like, oh fuck, it's Pharah. Because we start fire striking them, and then we're like, wait, oh fuck, oh, Pharah. So we didn't get the Pharah. Probably weren't going to get the Pharah anyway, but she just chose to end her own life anyway, basically. So, I mean, whatever, I guess. Fair enough. So, did it happen here? There's a point where we hear Reaper. Was it here? Oh, we saw Reaper. He just teleported over there, and we heard Reaper. So, I mean, here's, like, listen very, very closely, because Reaper teleporting, even after they changed it, this is pre-Doomfist patch, by the way. Even after they've, lowered the sound on it, still really fucking easy to hear Reaper, actually, like, listen for Reaper. And we also did briefly see him, and that's, you know, that's important information. Looks like D.Va noted, maybe not. I thought D.Va noticed, because she turned around kind of weird, but then she didn't actually look like she went anywhere, so maybe not. So yeah, Reaper's behind us right now. Don't think he really gets anything done. Yeah, he's dead, so D.Va did find him. But, you know. So, we didn't learn from our previous mistake, and we're doing the exact same thing again. And we get away with it this time, but we shouldn't get away with it. We did the exact same thing, but it was actually worse, because D.Va was there that time. Do not cross the threshold. Don't ever cross any choke points as Reinhardt, because out there, that's no man's land. We don't want to go out there. Also, don't pick up armor packs if you're playing a tank. Sole exception to this rule, if you're playing Zarya, pick up a health pack. Zarya loves health packs, armor packs. Zarya is the only tank that benefits from having an armor pack, because it goes on underneath her shields. No other tank has shields, so, you know, at least not like on their health bar. You benefit from it the least if you're playing a tank, because it's just gonna get shaved off of you within seconds of picking it up usually. If you're gonna pick it up, make sure everyone else on your team has an armor pack first, but even then, you're probably better off just leaving it on the ground so that Mercy can pick up another one when her armor gets shaved off. It just doesn't do anything on you. It's very redundant and doesn't really get you anything. So, Mei's doing that, we just immediately turn, charge away, we can do nothing for this Bastion because he is right in the center of the fucking blizzard, so what can you do? Mercy standing perfectly still behind us, which is not really okay, but I mean, whatever. So, Bastion's alive again. He is now using his tank. Enemy team, not exact. Oh, this is very sad. It's like, well, we can't save everyone, can we? And Mercy just dies. Mercy could have come over to us, but it was a little bit too much. She was more focused on just running that way, and she could have just GA'd to us. Bastion, gotten out of the way, but, you know, whatever. So, Reaper's running at us right now, and, he stood a solid chance of killing us, actually, but he didn't know that, so he just immediately Wraith formed away, so, whatever, you know, that's fine. Don't do this, this is not okay, that's not okay. We end up, like, accidentally killing Mercy, so we're like, worth it. Don't cross the threshold if you're playing Reinhardt, because it's not okay. It's almost always just gonna end in sadness. So there's a teleporter, though, so we get to come back. We've got our Shatter. That's cool. They don't really have anything that can block Earth Shatter. Do they have anything? They have Mei, I guess. That's the only thing, but, like, it's gonna be accidental if it happens. So, you know, that's pretty sick. At the same time, though, we've never really seen more than 2 members of their team on screen at the same time, so, probably doesn't really bear that much concern either. So, there's, like, a fight going on the right-hand side, and we just, like, slowly trundle our way over, but then we, like, don't look at the direction the fight was happening in. This is a drastic overuse of company resources. There's no need to ult that D.Va, because she should... If she gets away, whatever. It's not worth trading your ultimate to break D.Va's mech. We end up, like, accidentally killing D.Va afterwards, but it's not worth it. That D.Va... And then we pin her out of the choke point again as well, so, again, don't go over the choke point. But it's not worth it. In 9 times out of 10, what that's gonna do is you're gonna trade your ultimate for D.Va's mech. She's gonna shoot you a few times, and you're gonna have her mech back, and it's not a good use of company resources. And now we don't have our ultimate to use. So our shield's getting really low right now. Just, like, get out of the way and let it recharge. Once it's getting under 1,000, you start to think about getting out of the way, usually. And then when it gets to, like, 600, that's like, yeah, now I'm just gonna get out of the way and let it recharge, because at that point, it's not doing anything, and it's just gonna get broken, like, very suddenly. You don't have to sit out of the way. Like, some people take that too far, the other direction, where whenever they get out of they start, it gets to, like, 1,000 HP, and then they stand out of the way and let it fully recharge. You don't always need to take it, like, that cautiously. But, like, let it regenerate up to, like, a decent amount, because what people usually do is they let it get down to, like, 200 HP, and then they get out of the way, and they let it recharge up to, like, 1,000 HP, and then they come and stand out there again. That's not enough HP. That's not enough. Because going back to the other thing, you don't want to ever let your shield break. So when it gets to, like, 200 HP, you take it down, because it's about to break. So 1,000 HP is actually 800 HP on the shield. So that's not very much. That's less than Orissa's shield. So, once it gets down under 1,000, start, like, trying to inch your way out of the way, and then let it recharge up to, like, 1,500, 1,700. You don't always need to let it regenerate up to full, but, like, let it regenerate up to, like, a decent amount, most of the way. Unless they start, like, coming in, then it doesn't matter what it's at, you've just gotta get out there and start, like, standing there again. So, don't do this. It's not okay. This is how, like... You should never let your memes be dreams, but don't do that. If they have a McCree, you die. If their Mei is paying attention, you die. If they have a Lucio or a Pharah that's, like, decent at booping, you die. There's very, very many ways you can get punished for that one. Don't do that. It's not worth the, like, 1 in 100 chance you pin somebody. So Mei's using her ult, which I don't fully agree with, but she did indeed decide to use it. Mei used her ult wall a little bit too late and still died, so great news for us. And, like, we never even really saw the enemy team, honestly. It was never felt particularly close, did it? Because they didn't know what they were doing. And this is why you don't worry about your team comp, because you play against the enemy team like that, it's like, they've clearly got no fucking clue what they're doing. They do not know how to get through the choke point on Eichenwald, so we don't have to really worry about it. So, we're working out a plan here. I didn't actually, watch this part. I just skipped through to when we were at the gate again. I see. So Genji in front, so he deflects incoming damage. I don't agree with that, because Genji's not a tank, basically. He's gonna, like, need deflect to fight people when he's in their backline. So I don't really agree with this plan, particularly. So, we're going real around the side right now. We're going to go around this way, and we're going to just jump straight into the enemy team, but there's a lot of things over here we do not want to jump into. When you're playing Winston, you have to pick where you're going to jump very carefully. Because if you jump in just blindly, you jump right on, like, Bastion Mei, and you just get fucked, right? Or we could have, like, a Reaper and something over here as well, right? You've got to figure out, you've got to look before you leap, quite literally, you've got to look before you leap, and you've got to figure out what you're jumping on. Because there are things you don't want to jump on. Winston does very little damage. It takes him forever to kill a squishy hero, right? Like, he doesn't do very much damage. So we want to avoid people who are hard to kill. We want to avoid all tanks, we want to avoid Bastion, because he's hard to kill, and he's going to rip us apart. We don't want to fight Mei, because she's too hard to kill. There's just, like, no way. We don't want to fight Reaper. He's too hard to kill, and it's just, like, no way. Even though, like, I've seen, like, nothing of Doomfist yet, because he's still on the, like, non-competitive yet. I've seen nothing of Doomfist. You don't want to fight Doomfist. Doomfist's also gonna fuck you if you're playing Winston. What you're looking for is you're looking for squishy heroes that are, like, at the back, largely by themselves, and then you jump on them, and you start bullying them. And then as soon as aggro turns onto you, you just jump back out again. Cause you jump in, you start bullying them around, you put your bubble on top of them, start just, like, operate within your shield. It's very unless they collapse, like, very well on you, you're not gonna die. You can just jump away again if the aggro turns back onto you. Don't just jump into 6 people, cause that's how you get fucked. You're looking for people who are off, out of the way, and then you're gonna jump on them, and then you're gonna bully them. If you can't find somebody to bully around, because sometimes they're just all huddled together, nobody's quite off by themselves, or you still can't get to them because something's in the way, like a fucking Bastion is in the way or some shit like that, right? And you can't actually get past because you'll still die. You either just, like, hang out with your team, roughly, and, like, wait to see somebody start to go off away from the pack, and then you jump on them, or you get behind them and start distracting them. So, on Eichenwald, for example, right? Whole team is usually going to be collected around in this area. Well, they're, like, always going to be collected around in this area. So, if they're all over here, don't jump over there, because that's going to end in, like, roughly what we just saw. Instead, if nobody's by themselves, just go this way. Just go off on the left-hand side, or you can go up this way, through the doorway as well, because you can just, like, leap up there, disappear into the doorway. Just go the left-hand side instead, and then, like, get behind them. That forces them to rotate to you, because they can't see you around the clock tower. If they rotate poorly, you'll get to kill somebody that's just, like, staggering around there by themselves, all alone. And even if they rotate well, you can just jump away, and that's taken aggro off of the choke point, so then it makes it easier for your team to actually get through it. So, that's, roughly what we're going for when we're playing Winston. We don't want to just, like, jump into the biggest collection of people as soon as we see them, because that's gonna end in us getting killed. Don't use your bubble like that. Try not to just, like, put your bubble down in choke points, because your bubble is so incredibly weak. It's got 600 hit points. I can never remember exactly how many hit points Winston's shield has got. Less than Orissa's. It gets broken really, really fucking fast. So, you don't want to put it down in choke point, it's just going to get bursted to death, and it's going to have done nothing, and you need that for when you jump in, because if you jump in and you don't have your bubble, it's very easy to just get slapped, and you just get beaten to death really quickly. Especially when everyone's playing Doomfist, because don't forget, when he gets in competitive, every game is going to have 2 Doomfists in it for at least 2 weeks. So, you are going to get slapped real good. If you don't, I mean, he's going to slap you regardless, but you're going to get slapped even harder if you jump in when you don't have your shield. So try not to put it in choke points, doesn't really do anything. If you're putting it down specifically to protect somebody because they're getting fucked, fair enough. You know, you're a tank, blocking damage is your number 1 priority. But don't just put it like in a choke point for the sake of it. You need that when you get in there. So, let's keep going. Could have pushed spacebar, but for some reason I didn't want to do that. So, there's still a lot of shit that we're not very happy about. We don't even necessarily want to change to D.Va because Mei really fucks D.Va. So this is not who we want to fight. Reason is, this guy's got a shotgun. He's also, like, actually kind of annoying to kill because he can put armor down, and that makes it really... Armor does reduce damage, and armor is most effective against heroes that do a little bit of damage over a long period of time. This is why Winston's really bad at fighting tanks, other than just generally doing very little damage. They all have armor, so they reduce his damage even more. Also, this dude's got a shotgun. Shotguns fuck your day right up proper if you're playing a tank. He doesn't seem to know that, but he could have killed us right there. Especially since we left our bubble behind. He could have actually killed us for doing that, but he didn't know. So, we don't want to fight that guy. If the dude's got a shotgun, you generally don't want to fight them, because that guy's gonna fuck you up, because shotguns just wreck tanks. This is a universally consistent thing. Roadhog, currently, horrifically useless hero. Don't worry about it, probably not gonna see him. But even him, he's got a shotgun, you don't want to deal with it, because it fucks you up. So, we've just sort of walked around the back end, and trying to kill Mei. It's not going to work because Mei is hard to kill for various reasons. So we're better off looking for anyone else. Like this Symmetra, we could have been tasing that Symmetra the entire time instead. This is a general thing, but I'm noticing like while you're looking around, you're like very fidgety on screen where you turn around and then like, oh. So I don't know if your sensitivity is like slightly too high because you are doing like a little bit of like the bouncing around thing. Which usually means you're either just, like, really twitchy, or your sensitivity's too high. Usually better off having a really low sensitivity. My sensitivity is 6, so, you know. So, we've heard the tank happening. We're low HP. We don't want to go in, because we're low HP. We have also, however, jumped, like, so far away that our healers never possibly heal us, because we're all the fuck way over here now. You want to get, like, out of the way, but so that your healers can still see you, because, you know, you want to get healed. But it didn't matter. Team won the fight over here, so we get to win the game anyway. So we're going to watch the play of the game. Who got the play of the game? It's got to be Bastion. It has to be Bastion. Yeah, it's Bastion. Oh no. Yep. Great. Awesome. No way. No way. That's pretty sick. I enjoyed that one. Slowly chip through it and get this fucking sniper 1,000 feet away. Oh, good times. So, biggest things to stand out. Don't cross the choke point if you're playing Reinhardt, because that's just bad times. Don't go over there. When you're playing Winston, just like, play it more cool. Don't, I mean, you know, that section was incredibly small, but I pulled more from that than I did from the Reinhardt, because we never really saw the enemy team. So I don't overextend when you're playing Reinhardt, don't let your shield break. With Winston, just be more chill. Just like, wait. You don't have to, like, you dive in, but you don't have to dive in like the second you see him. Just play it cool. Look before you leap. Don't jump into things that are gonna get you killed. Don't pick fights with people that are going to fuck you up or that are going to take forever, because there's something better you can be doing with your time. So you avoid people with shotguns, avoid tanks at all costs, wait for somebody squishy, preferably hit scam or like Junkrat, Symmetra. Wait for like these people to like go off by themselves and then jump on them and start fucking them. Supports also, obviously. And then you start fucking them. And then as soon as the enemy team starts to turn their aggression onto you, just jump away. Because here's the important thing as well. When you're playing a flanker or a diver, remember this. Doesn't matter how much pressure you're applying. If you die, all pressure is immediately relieved. So as soon as they turn their aggression to you and you're feeling like you might die, just leave. You don't want to die. Not dying is a very important step. It's like the most important stat in any competitive game ever is your number of deaths. You want that to be as low as possible. Everything else tends to come as a consequence of not dying. So, play it cool. Chill, wait for your time to strike, and then go strike. And then when you're starting to feel the heat, just leave the kitchen. It's fine. It's okay. Winston can do that. He's a monkey, and appropriately enough, he uses guerrilla warfare. In and out. So, those are the most important things that stood out to me in this game. Pretty short game, There was still quite a bit in it, though, I felt like, even though it was a short game that we actually won without much contest, really. So, thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer, and I hope you find the video helpful.